I've got a couple of reasons. First one is personal. I've always felt that from an early age that I've been called to leadership. I know a lot of people are, but you kind of wondered where you're going to put that down. I put it down in several different areas throughout the community. However, I've always been interested in the civics portion of it. You know, I do view the city as its own business, and being a business owner myself, I felt that I could, bring some experience to the table. So it's always personal from the get, but there's just something that has it for me for civics. And you know, the market is unlike anything that we've ever seen before, and technology's it's changing so fast. Let me just give you an example is, from a hiring standpoint of view, people used to walk in your front door and they'd fill out an application. We all know that we don't do it like that anymore. So we're having these challenges across the board. So first and foremost is just finding a good staff. Not all your jobs are going to require that you need 5, 10, 20 bodies, whatever the case is, but there is a disconnect there. And then the second one is just how kids learn and how they know how to put their work down or their application in, whatever that is. It's just, we're still figuring some of that stuff out. Moreover, in the background, we have technology just changing and running the world like it has never before. So for me personally, it's just make sure you have the right bodies, and we're able to train them correctly. So there's a workforce disconnect there, so from the college, high school, like how do we get these kids placed correctly, and how do we get business owners access to them? So. I have been in Hays County for the better part of 25 years, lived in San Marcos specifically for the last 15, and I know that there seems to be some red tape when it comes to getting stuff done here in the city. Being a general contractor myself, licensed irrigator, there's a lot of processes that you have to walk through. I know we worked on land development code not too many years back. Our people had put in 4 years of their input, and really at the end of the day, I'd just like to see the land development code pursued. So we're still learning on those processes, but I think that's the one thing we can do is just follow the processes that we already have and actually implement them. So. At the end of the day, again, it really all comes back down to our land development code. What are we allowing to build? And from what I understand, our land development code is extremely robust. We have just about everything in there. In fact, I think it attracts a lot of people here to build. But yet again, I think that we get caught up in a lot of the red tape, where you essentially have to survive committees, a lot of oversight. The permitting process itself can be its own issue to bear. So really, I would probably just look back to what's already in place. What have we worked on as a community already, and put that work down. A lot of my background, again, is small business, and I've invested a lot of time in multiple chambers throughout the area, from Lockhart to Seguin to Wimberley, New Braunfels. I mean, I've been a part of just about all of them, and really it's just because we wanted to be around and make those relationships so that we could do business. So if I had $1 million to give to anybody, it would be back to small businesses locally here in this town, either to put them through some type of incubation program, offer them up some type of services that can show them how to own, operate, and get their business going. Unfortunately, most small businesses, about 80% of them don't even make it to the end of the line. So, I think it's the quintessential kind of American dream to be able to start, own, operate, and run your business outside of all the red tape and permitting and issues that can come with it. So $1 million, small business, all day long, that's the easy answer. So. But sometimes you just got to realize, like, if you're called to do something, that you just need to stand up and walk. You're not always going to have the perfect way to do it, So I saw that leadership postured here in this town, and I saw what a difference it can make. And that's my goal to do it. And not only just to go do city council. To me, at the end of the day, city council should almost be relatively boring. You know, it's public safety, infrastructure, and education. You know, we're in the business of the city, but how you do that business absolutely matters. You know, I'm there to provide some type of culture change. I know, albeit I'm just one person, but just somebody that's going to walk in, smile, and be willing to do business with anybody. You know, this is a nonpartisan race, and I intend to keep it that way.